how to win the battles against intestinal parasites. Human parasites coexist with us for millions of years. Exposed to contaminated soil, water, and food, we actually build a bridge between human and parasites. Through different channels, parasites take human as their host and feed on the food and nutrients we eat to survive, because they're unable to produce food for themselves. That's why they're called parasites. Where there's a person who relies on others to support him and he cannot make his own living, we call such a person a parasite. Human parasites have become the threat to public health, especially in developing countries where sanitary management is deprived. There can be over 100 different types of parasites living in human bodies. Here, we just give you a few most common ones, which are amoeba, roundworm, pinworm, hookworm, and tapeworm. Once our body is invaded by parasites, we lose a lot of nutrients. This is a main cause of malnutrition in people living in areas with compromised sanitary conditions. Human body provides them a shelter to complete their life cycle, but also sacrifices health due to the damage of the tissues and cells, as well as the waste made by the parasites. Out of 7.5 billion of world population, 3.5 billion people are infected with intestinal parasites. That is to say, half of us have certain or multiple intestinal parasitic diseases. At the beginning of parasitic infestation, often the parasites do little damage, and people may be unaware that they are infected. But in any given year, more than 1 billion people, many of them children, fall sick with parasitic diseases, and millions of them die. The first common intestinal parasite is amoeba. Amoeba are an irregular-shaped microorganism that can be found in raw sewage. If a person suffers from symptoms such as bloody, explosive, and foul-smelling diarrhea, it gives us a clue that this is amoebic dysentery caused by eating food or drinking water that has been contaminated by amoebic cyst. The diarrhea can be so severe that the patient could experience dehydration. These parasites also release a kind of enzyme causing ulcers and abscesses, where they enter the bloodstream and invade other organs like liver and brain. Once the amoeba migrates to brain, coma, even death may set in if not properly treated. Thus, they're all called brain-eating amoeba. Amoeba infect 1/10 of the world population, or 500 million people, especially in poor sanitation areas. 90% of people carrying amoeba is asymptomatic, which means they have no symptoms, whilst 10% of the population has gastrointestinal or liver infection. The second common intestinal parasite is a roundworm, and its infestation is called Ascariasis. People get it through unsafe food and water. The living roundworms have a bright red stripe on their bodies with pale pink color and can lay almost 200,000 eggs daily. It's disgusting, isn't it? When we contact with the contaminated soil or eat uncooked food contaminated by soil that contains roundworm eggs, we take them into our system. Children often become infected when they put their hands in their mouths after playing in contaminated soil. The roundworms often live in the intestines and cause gastrointestinal impairment. An adult suffering from roundworm infestation may have symptoms such as loss of appetite, intestinal tract blockage. Once the larvae travel to distant organs such as lungs, it leads to coughing and wheezing. Roundworm infection in children generally leads to malnutrition, poor weight gain, even learning problems. The third intestinal parasite that frequently attacks kids is pinworm. Its infestation is called Enterobiasis. The reason why we call it pinworm is because it is as tiny as a piece of discarded thread or staple. Children share toys or stuff in kindergartens or schools. A typical symptom of pinworm infestation is the anus itching. Kids will scratch their anus or surrounding skin, then touch the toys. The same toy will be picked up by other kids who may put their fingers into their mouths while playing. Thus, the pinworm eggs enter into the digestive system, then hatch in the small intestine, become larvae, and continue their journey to the large intestine, where they live as parasites. Then the adult female pinworms crawl out of the anus to do their business during the host's sleeping time, causing irritation and insomnia. When you find your kids scratching their ass, having disturbed sleep, becoming restless, or having loss of appetite, weight loss, or irritability, take them to see the doctors. The fourth common intestinal parasite is hookworm. Its infestation is called Enterobiasis. In villages, people often walk barefoot if the soil is contaminated by hookworm larvae that live in the small intestine of a dog, cat, or human. We get hookworm infestation. When the larvae enter human body, they can move from the vascular system to the lungs and trachea, where they are swallowed and thus enter the digestive system and grow in the intestine by feeding on food. Unlike roundworm infection, there are no specific symptoms for mild hookworm infection. However, the silent and insidious property makes hookworm infection become more dangerous. Symptoms of severe hookworm infestation include iron deficiency anemia, abdominal disorder, loss of appetite, protein deficiency, intellectual, cognitive, and growth retardation in children, and even death. Now I'm going to introduce you a monster, tapeworm. Tapeworm can go 6 inches long. Imagine this monster lives in the digestive tract and absorbs nutrients from our blood. Tapeworm is composed of many segments, each of which is a separate independent body with an independent digestive system and reproductive tract. The older segment drops off from the tail tip as a sac of tapeworm egg. Then the sac, which is released outside through the host rectum with the stool, will be ingested by intermediate hosts such as pigs, cattle, or fish, and hatch into larvae in the intermediate host. Tapeworm infestation happens to humans only when people ingest undercooked meat like pork, beef, and freshwater fish, which contains tapeworm eggs or larvae. The larvae develop into adult tapeworms in the digestive tract of the host and start their life cycle. People who get infected with tapeworm have the common symptoms of increased appetite, irritability, insomnia, anemia, and sensitivity to light or sound. What's worse is the tapeworm can survive 20 years and migrate to other tissues or organs. How can you win the battles against the human intestinal parasite? Here, we introduce a whole package of products. The first step is to kill the parasites with Greenwood's Parasite capsule. It contains 2 major herbal ingredients, Radix astragalus extract and Lophocerin gracile extract. These products can paralyze the body of the parasites and make it fall off the intestinal wall. Meanwhile, it repairs the damaged intestinal wall caused by the parasite. It can also enhance immunity by activating the eosinophils to kill the eggs of the parasite. Take Parasite capsule 2 to 3 capsules each time, twice in a day. We want the herbal ingredients to have thorough contact with the worms, so we must take these products before meals with an empty stomach. The second step is to replenish the body for the lost nutrients. Intestinal parasites eat most of the nutrients we're supposed to absorb in our intestine. If you have developed malnutrition after parasitic infestation, taking protein powder may supplement essential amino acid as building blocks to mend the impairments of our body. 1 to 2 tablespoons per day is enough. It can be mixed with cereal, porridge, or with soup or broth. Spirulina Plus capsule is considered as a complete food. It not only contains all essential nutrients we need, but also 2 important phytonutrients, phycocyanins and chlorophyll. This product replenishes the nutrients we lost and also repairs the damage of the intestinal wall. 1 to 3 capsules each time, 1 to 2 times in a day can provide you enough nutrients. If you have limited budget, you may go for multivitamin tablets. It supplements vitamin A, B complex, vitamin C, D, and E, as well as calcium and magnesium. 1 to 2 tablets in a day is good enough for your vitamin intake, but this product doesn't contain protein and other nutrients. You need to drink milk, eat cheese, chicken, or other protein-rich food to supplement proteins. If you have children who are parasitic infected, you may also go for blueberry super nutrition. It is rich in protein, minerals, vitamins, dietary fibers, and anthocyanins. The anthocyanins can repair the damaged intestinal wall caused by parasites. 1 to 2 bags in a day can meet the need of daily nutrient intake. It tastes nice and can be mixed with cereals, porridge, or milk. Multivitamin tablets for children is also a good choice, but this product doesn't contain protein, which is very important for the growth and development of children. Taking these products, you still need to give protein-rich food to your kids. 1 tablet can help the kids to meet their nutritional daily requirement. Zinc deficiency in children may result in retarded growth, frequent diarrhea, and eye disorders. So supplementing zinc is necessary for children and adolescents. 1 tablet per day is good enough to sustain the functions of their body. Calcium is the most important mineral for the bone and teeth. It is absolutely essential for children and adolescents who are at their peak of growing. 1 to 2 tablets in a day can meet the requirement of the development of their teeth and bones. Here, we have some tips of hygiene for you to cut the risk of parasitic infections. First, wash hands thoroughly with soap and hot running water for at least 10 seconds after using the toilet or changing a baby's diaper and before handling food. Second, clean bathrooms and toilets often. Pay particular attention to toilet seats and taps. Third, avoid raw vegetables when in endemic areas, as they may have been fertilized using human feces. Fourth, boil water or treat with iodine tablets. Fifth, avoid eating street food, especially in public places where others are sharing sauces in one container. Sixth, practice strict meat inspection and cook meat or fish thoroughly. Remember, fecal mouth contamination is the main way to get infected with parasites. Do not defecate in other places other than toilets. For people living in cities with relatively good sanitary management, you take Greenwood Parasite capsule when you have any of the signs and symptoms we have mentioned in this presentation. If the place you live has compromised sanitary management, you need to take these products every 6 months. Remember to finish the whole bottle to complete the course. To remove all possible intestinal parasites from your body is the first step toward health. Otherwise, whatever you take is feeding the parasites in your gut. Once you're clear of the intestinal parasites, you're ready for boosting the functions of organs.